drawing angels.
The past few months, people have been coming up to me and reporting strange things.
Weird lights, strange phone call.
I can stop this.
Hey everybody, this is Brian.
This is Jason.
And this is the Perfectly Screwed Podcast, episode 42. I have been on vacation all week and I'm quite happy about it, I want you to know.
You look refreshed.
I feel refreshed. I have been doing nothing. Really, literally, most of the days doing nothing. Well, I did post the first video to YouTube, so I did do something.
Yes, you did.
And Sunday I'm going to be writing the pilot. So, actually I got those all...
So it won't be a complete waste of time.
No, I got some things done. Not a lot, but I mean, I got something done, at least. I'm sure at work you got plenty done.
Hey, it reminds me of Office Space when he said, I sat on my ass and did absolutely nothing. And it was everything that I thought it could be.
I mean,
not now, Lumberg. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to ask you to go away.
Go ahead.
I got a meeting with the Bobs here in a couple minutes.
Right. Oh, so everybody who does listen to the podcast, we have a new YouTube channel. And right now we only have one comedy video on there, but you can watch it. It's Perfectly Screwed Podcast on YouTube. Hopefully this video should be going up. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
Right.
It depends if I can figure everything out. If not, then this video isn't going up either. I mean, I know I can do it with the phone, but this handy cam and me are having issues. So
right. Well, you got a video on YouTube though, so you do know how to do it.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah, with my phone I can do it, no problem. So, anyways, we're not talking about YouTube the other day, and we're not. I promise you, we're not talking about handy cams, and we're not talking about any of that. What we're going to talk about is the Mothman.
Yeah, the Mothman, bud.
The Mothman. And actually, the crazy part is, I went to talk about the Mothman. Oh, by the way, anybody who's keeping track, we are still playing the drinking game. Now, I'm not going to be talking as much per se as I was in the last episode, so even though we're still playing the drinking game, you might not get a chance to take quite as many shots.
Do you take a shot for every time that Brian lies? You would have took a shot right there when you said, I'm not going to talk as much as I did in the last.
I'm really not.
I'm
really not. I might throw out a comment here or there.
Some people just talk and they just keep going, and it's a law of averages, really. It's because when you spit so many words out there, eventually,
you're right,
one's gonna fuck up.
Oh well, yeah. Well, see, the problem is it's. Well, my wife says that I do not speak correctly. And I have learned that through talking to you and other people that she is correct.
Well,
I pronounce things incorrectly.
Usually when you mispronounce words is when you're reading.
Well, yeah, that's because...
You speak fine, but when you read sometimes, I don't know.
That's because the reason is my brain works faster than my mouth. So I've read the word, my brain has processed the word, but when it tries to get it out of my mouth can't work as fast as my brain.
Right. Makes sense.
So do you want to start off?
Yeah. So the Mothman, in West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a humanoid creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 15th, 1966 to December 15th, 1967. So 13 months?
13 months, yeah. Give or take.
The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register, dated November 16th, 1966, titled, Couples see man-sized bird.
Couples semen.
Couples see man.
Couples semen. It was posted that the couple's semen was found at the site. Well, at least his semen. We don't think she had any.
Did they have DNA technology back there in 1966?
No.
Because if the couples left semen at the scene of the crime, they're in real trouble, bud. So, anyway, the couple's semen ended up on a bird. No, sorry, I read that wrong. I read that wrong.
Okay, look, if you fuck up and read stuff
that
wrong,
fuck up was on purpose.
yeah, and you got to take a shot. I'm sorry, those
That
are
fuck
the
up
rules.
was on purpose.
It ain't just me. Damn it, I can't have full responsibility of the drinking game.
But we go.
The couple's semen was on a bird.
So
yeah,
let me back up.
Please,
Let
yes.
me back up.
That's what he said when the couple's semen was shooting out onto the bird.
The Point
Please back up.
Pleasant
So don't kill the
Register.
bird. Huh?
The Point Pleasant Register, so that's the newspaper,
Are you
dated
sure?
November 16th, 1966. The title said, "Couples see man-sized bird, creature, something." That's what the headline in the newspaper read.
Oh yeah, I
Couples
remember
see
that. couple.
man-sized bird, creature, something.
Well, first of all, let's just put this out there. I'm going to put the first bit of skepticism out there. Okay, 2 young kids out, obviously a make-out point. It's a little creepy. They're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Okay, look.
Yes.
Maybe they heard a raccoon. Maybe they saw an owl.
Could be the first time that she's been finger banged. Could be the first fucking hand job the guy's got.
And being 66, could be some psychedelics involved there, buddy.
Well,
I'm just
absolutely.
saying, 66, people were doing shrooms. They were doing marijuana, all kinds of stuff.
LSD.
Right. So, I'd see man-sized birds too if I dropped about a handful of shrooms.
Sure.
I mean, we don't know.
But let's also throw out the other scenario and the other possibility that there really was a man-sized bird, creature, something flying around in the air.
Well, they're not the only ones to see it.
Sure.
That's what kind of makes the story viable, is they're not the only ones to see this bird. So,
Dude, how crazy would that be, though?
what, to see a man-sized bird?
Yeah, like all of a sudden you look up and there's me, just flying, like
Well-
humongous wings.
From what I've heard, some reports said that this thing was 7-8 foot tall, man.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And see, Point Pleasant is when it became famous, but Point Pleasant isn't the first thing.
It isn't the first thing?
No, it's not the first time these creatures were ever seen.
Oh, Mothman?
Yeah, like there's places in different parts of history. Like, okay, here's some alleged sightings here. Now, we've all heard of Loch Ness and Bigfoot, but these are all cryptozoologies. Mothman, Bigfoot, Loch Ness, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil, they're all in the cryptozoology. And cryptozoology, if anybody doesn't know, is the study of animals that technically there's no proof that they exist.
Okay.
Okay, like dragons or unicorns or Bigfoot.
Right.
The first Mothman sightings were November 12th, and they were in Clinton, West Virginia. Okay, so that's not in Point Pleasant. See, the first ones were in 66, but they were
And
in
that's 3
Clinton.
days before
Right, and 3 days before the first sighting there.
Point Pleasant.
Right, grave diggers in Clinton claimed to see a human-like figure soaring just above them in the trees. And then days later, on the 15th, that's when they were seen in Point Pleasant. And funny, actually, the site that they were seen in Point Pleasant is not too far from Clinton. I mean, it's right on the same path. So if you were coming from Clinton and you were a flying creature, you would eventually end up at Point Pleasant.
Yeah, you're probably covering a decent radius there. I don't know how far humanoid flying creatures tend to flock, but...
Well, I mean, if you're 7 foot tall...
But it says here that on November 15th, 66, the 2 young couples from Point Pleasant were Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Mallet. I wonder how old they were. These 4 kids were out. Who knows what kind of debauchery they were getting into. They were probably fucking switching partners and shit, you know what I mean, out there.
Well, there was 4 of them?
Back at Daddy's fucking belt.
Oh, they were all getting hot.
Yes, there was 4 of them.
Oh, yeah, they were
Roger and
definitely
Linda
hot.
and Steve and Mary. They told police they saw a large gray creature whose eyes glowed red when the car's headlights picked it up. They described it as a large flying man with 10-foot wings, following their car while they were driving in an area outside of town known as the TNT area, the site of a former World War II munitions plant.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Well, I'll tell you what, like I was saying though, these things were not only seen in West Virginia. Think about this, Jason. Irish folklore, banshees, winged creatures that would lure sailors, or sirens, same thing, sirens, winged creatures that would lure sailors to their death. Banshees were the opposite. They lived in the mountains, they were winged creatures, and they had a screaming wail. But that's Irish folklore. And then you go to Hindu though, I mean, they're in Hindu mythology also. There's the Gardu, which is a winged creature that would precede disaster. It's the same thing that they said happened in Point Pleasant. These things precede
what
disaster.
was the Hindu one? What was the name of it? Was it Garuda?
Garuda. Yeah, what did I say? Well, there's a shot, goddammit, because I just fucked up something.
But the Garuda one is
Garuda.
Interesting because it says it precedes.
Oh yeah, that's Hindu mythology.
It says
so
it precedes what?
It precedes, it precedes banshees and all that.
No, it precedes what? Like, did you say?
Oh, disaster.
It precedes disaster. There's also,
Yeah.
I think there's also something about the Garuda that it eats snakes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because there's theories on ancient aliens, like Eric Von Daniken, like his theory on Garuda is that what they're describing is technology. So like if you were to look at a plane that was refueling,
Mm-hmm.
you would say that it does eat snakes.
Right, right.
And it would if it's a flying machine that's dropping bombs, then obviously it would precede disaster.
Right, but it's just interesting that Hindu mythology has Garuda. There's these winged creatures in Russian mythology. I forget what those are called. But there's the banshees and the sirens in English and Irish folklore. But they all precede a disaster, a shipwreck or something of that nature. Mm-hmm. And the same creatures that they saw in West Virginia, again, precede disaster.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I think maybe these ancient mythologies and folklores, when you read into them, you could make the argument, like I said, that they're talking about technology. They're talking about like planes and jets. But this Mothman, we're not talking about that. We're literally talking about, because this is 1966, you know what I'm saying? This is an ancient folklore. And these people are describing literally a man flying. They would know if it was a plane.
Correct. And if you took ancient folklore, and yeah, it could be a plane back then, and if you took ancient folklore that, yeah, they didn't understand, but then you take ancient folklore, and then you take, wait, they've also been seen in Irish folklore, and wait, same creatures are seen in Russian folklore, wait, they've got the same creatures in Egyptian paintings in the pyramids of winged creatures like this. And then you see them in West Virginia in 1966 preceding disaster. Again, it seems like these creatures are more like a real thing. Because if you have them throughout history, and every culture has a story about these winged creatures that precede disaster, but they all call them something different,